right, welcome back to Where's My Manners? So happy. I have my friend Bacon. I finally got you on the show.
I know.
You travel too much.
I know. I wasn't supposed to travel as much, but then, shit changes and happens.
She was like, I just living my best life. I'm here for it. So, yes, you heard me correctly. Her name is Bacon, and we're going to get into her name. Is that your real name?
No, my name is so Filipino.
Okay.
And it's Annalyn. Very southern.
Annalyn?
It's southern. Yes, it's very pretty.
I like it.
I'm such a tomboy, and when I lived in New Orleans, my friend owns this pork company, and I started eating pork again and bacon, and I just incorporated in a lot of my cooking, and just there are times where I would make a pound of bacon in the morning, have 3 pieces, put it in the oven, and then if I went drinking and would come in at 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever, people go to Taco Bell. I don't like Taco Bell. I go straight into the oven, eat 3 more pieces of bacon, and the grease soaks up all that alcohol, and I pass out, and I wake up, and I'm like, hey, I'm going for a run.
She's like, I'm good now.
Yeah, but then
Bacon.
It's so funny because people, they're like, bacon? I'm like, yes. They're like, how do you feel about turkey bacon? I'm like, I was like, first of all, there's so much more sodium in that. Secondly, how many?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's so processed. Turkeys have tiny bellies.
Okay.
So they take all the bellies.
I don't know why. Well, obviously, so that makes you think that turkey bacon is so much better. So that's what you eat.
No.
Oh, wow.
A pig, you can get 20 pounds of bacon and just cut it out and not add anything and cook it and eat it. What?
Yeah. We just learned something new here, guys, because I never fucking knew.
20 pounds of bacon in one pig.
Turkey bacon is bad for you.
It's not bad for you.
It's bad. No,
yeah, too much sodium.
Too much sodium. Okay, so today we're going to talk about bar experience. And you're a bartender. Yes. I do a little bit here and there. I've really only worked at a tequila bar. So I don't know much, but I know a little bit. And I'm trying to expand.
Yes.
So give us bar etiquette.
All right. Well, I started bartending, really, really bartending in New Orleans. And, I'm very personable and have the personality to talk to everybody and get them drunk, basically.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah, right. The proper bar etiquette for me is, just put yourself in the bartender's shoes. Even if you don't know how a bartender is, it's you're at the bar, you see that they're talking to that person and, explaining to them what wines and whatnot, and then you see them ringing up their order, and then if they're not coming to you right away, you don't hey, wave them down, and it's they see you. As soon as you walk in, they see you, and they will get to you.
No, but it's just that patience that patrons don't have, and they're just I'm at the bar, I want to be serviced right now.
True. Yes, exactly. People are so impatient, and it's just I always laugh when someone comes in and they're just go up to anybody behind the bar and just can I have this? It's first of all, did you scan what's behind me? And secondly, did you see what's on the menu? Or where you are, because we don't have that. This is a whiskey bar.
Well, what do you have? And it's just
here's the menu.
Yeah.
And just basically when you walk into a bar, assess the situation.
Yeah.
It's okay, it's a full bar. The bartender's going to be busy, because if you're in a bar restaurant, you're not the only, the bartender isn't only serving the bar patrons. They're also serving the bar or the restaurant, and they have to deal with the servers and their orders. So it's a lot of people don't get that.
We have a service bar. You have your section, and if you're the only one behind the bar, depending
you're
on
doing
how
the whole, you're serving liquor to everybody in the freaking restaurant.
Yes, and you have to take consideration in that.
Yes.
And not expect the bartender to be so fast. Just relax.
I mean, there are times where if it's not that busy, I can, like, if there's a bar of 13 seats and then I have a service bar, like, during a lunch hour or something, I can do that. And especially, like, as bartenders, you can pretty much guess what someone's going to order when you come in.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, 3 girls at, like, happy hour. They're going to go for the sangria. That's $5.
Yes.
So you already know. And, you know, sometimes if it's one guy that comes in, he's either going to drink gin, whiskey, or vodka, or a beer. But as soon as they sit down, you kind of, like, they don't even look at the menu. They know what they want.
They know what they want.
So it's like, those are the ones that you serve first.
What can I get you? Okay, 1 second.
Yeah, my favorite ones, my favorite patrons are the ones that come in and, like, they look at the, you know, what you have at the bar, and it's like, all right, can I get a vodka tonic? Mm-hmm. What kind of vodka? Just whatever.
Whatever.
Like, just whatever.
It's like, thank you.
It's like,
thank you so
get
much.
in there and know what you want. Especially, like, at the bar, the first thing that you are going to do is get a drink. Like, you're not going to go to the bar and really eat unless it is lunchtime or, like, you know.
Is there a difference? Because you've worked in
lots of restaurants.
but a lot of different states, though.
Yes.
Because you've worked in Miami.
Yes.
You've worked New York, obviously. New Orleans.
Yes.
Any
and
differences?
A lot.
What are the main differences?
A lot. New Orleans patrons are very New Orleans patrons are they're a lot more patient because it is a, you know, alcohol heavy town.
Yeah.
And pretty much everybody there knows the bars to go. Like, you go to a bar in mid-city, it's not going to be as packed. If you go to, you know, a bourbon bar, it's going to be, you know, you don't go anywhere on bourbon for, like, a cocktail. It's mostly, you know, beer and just, like, you know, frou-frou drinks and stuff, like the hurricanes and whatnot. Like, bar patrons in New Orleans are some of the best patrons ever because they know.
I've never been. I just want to go.
You should definitely go.
I can't wait.
And a lot of the bartenders there have seen everything. So when you walk into the bar and you're just like, oh, what's a Sazerac? Oh, what's a Brainy Milk Punch? They're just like, do you want a breakfast drink? Or, like, do you want to get fucked up? Do you want to do this? That they're more inclined to be helpful. New York bars, like, in the Village, I mean, like, the dive bars there, they usually just have, like, wells or, like, you know, kettle and all the basic, and no one really thinks. But, like, a lot of the bars here, or, like, the upscale ones, they have so many different cocktails. So when you sit down and you talk to a bartender, you kind of want to make sure that they have a minute to get all that. But mostly, like, whenever you go into a restaurant or, a bar, you know what you want.
I always know what I want because I also just stick to the same thing. Like, rarely I'll, like, try to branch off. But if I'm going to the bar and I'm sitting at the bar all the time, I'm just like, all right, let me just get this. I have my whole order for you.
So you don't, I mean, like, I drink. Now I drink a lot of whiskey, but there have been times where I'm like, you know what, I want something different. Let me look at this cocktail menu.
I don't think I've done that often.
Really? See, as a bartender, you get a lot of, like, the liquor reps and that come in and do tastings, and you get to taste everything. And so sometimes there are, like, what I do is I go and I already know what I want to drink. I'm like, okay, I want wine or whatnot, but I'll still look at the cocktail menu just to see how, you know, creative they are, or how, like, what type of ingredients and everything. And it's just, like, sometimes I'll just be like, oh, okay, cool. But other times I'm like, oh, I know how that's going to taste.
See, now the only time I do that, though, is when I'm, like, doing for my content for my Instagram page. And I'd be like, okay, what's your favorite cocktail? I don't even look. I'm like, your favorite cocktail, just make it for me. Just make it. I trust you. I just want to.
And then how many times were you like, what the fuck is this?
Like, once or twice, I'm just like, I don't even like this. I'm not posting it at all.
But do you drink it?
I'm like, can you, no.
Really? No, because if I go in.
Because I'll taste it and it's just like,
no, but if I go in and I say, make me your favorite drink, and they put it's like, oh, this is my favorite drink, and I don't like it, I'm still going to drink it because it's like, I put the power in your hands, and now I'm telling you, you know, like.
See, here's the thing about that. Because in the last year, I've come across a lot of people who are not bartenders.
Okay.
So it's like I can't, because I have coworkers that aren't bartenders.
Uh-huh.
So it's like they were just thrown behind the bar because they needed coverage. And you can tell most times, I'm just like, what did you put in this? And why is this your favorite drink? Do you even know? Because I know how I am as a server. If somebody's like, well, what's your favorite thing on the menu? I'm just throwing out shit, right?
Well, here's a tip. Here's a tip when people, as a server, because there are times where you have like 10 tables and someone's like, well, what's your favorite drink? What do you think on the menu? And I say, if I just want a quick and easy dinner, I always go with the wines or the beers. It's like, I'm not much of a drinker, so I'll just do beer and wine. And then just leave it up to them. They're like, oh, they're not much help. But that's like, you're asking me what I want, like what I normally drink. Yeah. And that's my honest opinion. My honest, answer. So like when in doubt, always shoot them to the beer and wine. Because with the wine, you can always get a bottle. And you can get a bottle. Or a beer, you can get a pitcher or whatever.
And you could do a taste. You can definitely do a taste. Go to the bar. Hey, can I get a taste of this? Like something small. Yeah. And you won't chance them sending it back. Yeah. So because Miami is like party.
I hate. The service is non-existent in Miami. And I didn't even I worked a few events as a bartender.
Okay.
Which I didn't really get to experience it because it's like, oh, beer, and we have like Jameson, makers and Kettle or Bacardi or, whatever, just the basics. But I've dined in so many restaurants in Miami, from the highest end ones to the Cuban restaurants. And I've only found 4 restaurants that have great food and great service. Because everywhere in Miami, it's like, oh, this is amazing food. And then it's like, the server comes and it's like, what can I get you? Okay, get that. They put in the food comes out, and you do not see them. Even when you're ready to pay and you're waving money
and you're just
around.
do I just leave?
Yeah, and there's this one place on 23rd and Collins. It's a Mediterranean place, and I love the food. But seriously, we had 3 or 4 servers. None of them spoke the same language. And it was just 3 things coming out. It's like, oh, yeah, we want this platter. And then the other server would come and bring the same platter. And it's like, oh, my God. It's like, I'm only paying for 1 set of this. But you can keep the rest.
Right.
And, I mean, and I get it because a lot of the servers and bartenders there come from, Latin America or Brazil or all over. And they're not accustomed to the tipping system. And down in Miami, it's 18% automatic on the bill.
Oh.
For the most part. There's
Do you think that's the reason why?
Exactly. Okay. Because they're going to get paid
18%.
Either way, if the bill's $200, they're going to get a percentage of that, and they already know.
That really
so
sucks.
At the very beginning, they're going to upsell, and then just sit on the back on their phone and Instagram and all this stuff.
And I get that, though, because I lived in Vegas for a year, and I will hands down say Vegas has the worst service ever. They don't give any fucks.
No, it actually, in the casinos.
Yeah.
Yes, but they actually are a lot better than Miami's.
Really?
And bartenders.
Oh my God. I need to just go and compare. I just need to go and compare because this is crazy.
Just because the language barrier.
Okay.
Too. As well.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So, bartender duties and power. Because I think we do. In the industry, period, there's a lot of power that you hold because you could, do anything, really, behind the bar.
There is a place in New Orleans where, I'm the bartender during lunch. We only have 1 register, and so it's the servers would come, and if it's cash, they would ask us for the, here, I need change, while you're serving lunch and serving drinks, and you have that. And if the manager steps out, it's you have the card to adjust everything and whatnot. Yeah. And so it's yes, you have to you have to serve the patrons at the bar, sometimes at tables. Then you have to deal with the 5 or 6 servers, and then you have to deal with the kitchen as well. Mm-hmm. So you kind of have a managerial role as well, because like you're the first person they usually see when you walk in. It's like the bartender.
Yeah.
Because
see, but is it a small place?
The one where we only had no, because there was like 13, 14 at the bar, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tables, and then the restaurant had maybe like 25, 30. It was a pretty big place.
Okay.
But then also there's another place like by the French Market that I work at. I just bartend, and we have one register as well, but we there's 4 bartenders, and there's one cashier or cash register, but we still deal with every window and the servers with their drinks and stuff. So it's like a lot of duties, a lot of power. You have to check in the liquor, you have to check out the liquor, you have to make sure like inventory is up to par with the usage of liquor. And it's like, how come there's supposed to be 4 bottles of whatever, but there's only 3. And it's like, oh, it broke. Oh, well, why wasn't this documented? And then, like, you get, like, you're in charge of that. It's just, like, a lot.
It's like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and a lot of patrons don't understand that, like, the bartender is, like, the heart of the restaurant.
No, seriously, because the bar is the most important spot. People want their drinks faster than they want their food majority of the time.
Yeah, and congregate and be seen and see who's coming in. And
oh, for sure. They're just there to just like, I mean, because me and my girls, we go out sometimes just to manhunt.
See who's at the bar.
Yeah, like who's there.
Have you ever gotten, like, oh my gosh. So a month ago, I was in Orlando for this dive convention with my friend, and she was at the dive convention, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to go down to the bar, grab something to drink. And as soon as I sit at the bar, I'm looking at this guy's like, so he's like telling the bartender, oh, I'll get a Maker's Mark or whatever. And he asked me, what do you drink? I was like, usually I do a Basil Hayden's or whatever, but I'm just going to eat. Like, totally not. Like, he was a really nice guy. And the next thing you know, he's like, oh, and she'll take a Basil Hayden's neat. I'm like, wait, what?
She's like, I didn't even come here to drink.
I was like, wow. But I know that guy was looking for someone to buy. Mm-hmm. It's the most social part of the restaurant.
I love that. The bar is literally my favorite spot to, like, when I go out on a date, if I'm, like, with my friends, I'm trying to sit at the bar. I don't like sitting at the tables. I'm just like,
unless it's, like, a very romantic.
I don't know. I don't like sitting down at tables.
See, if I'm on a date and it's like I'm not sure about him, I'll go to the bar because the bartender is the buffer.
Have you ever gone and met somebody beforehand? You was like, all right, I'm going to give you a sign. And then I want you to interrupt. Tell me I got a call.
There's an app for that, actually.
Is there an app?
Yeah, that Chelsea Handler app called Gotta Go.
Shut up. First of all, I love Chelsea Handler.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I didn't know that there was...
used it. It actually works really well. Yes, because there's been times where I've been at the bar.
Wait, how does that work?
It just basically like syncs up to your contacts and you like name it whatever, and then it has like a bunch of excuses and it'll text you from that person, and then it's like, call me at like in 30 minutes or whatever time you have it call, and then it's like, oh, I gotta take this. And Chelsea Handler literally is just like, hey, don't look down. You just have to do this. And I used it once, and it's
step by step.
Yeah, she goes, okay, now look down. Just say, are you shitting me? Oh, okay. Well, I'll be right there.
I need to everybody download that app. I'm down.
Gotta go.
Gotta blast. Gotta head out. No. Excuse me.
Yeah, no, right. But the bartender is a great buffer.
That's the one thing that I love about it, because you just know. Just like, are you uncomfortable? I love watching. I definitely, at my last job that I was bartending at, like, I loved watching people on first dates. Oh my gosh. It was the most awkward thing in the entire world.
I played this game as a bartender. When one person shows up and then the next person shows up, and they do the awkward hug. They're like, am I going to kiss him on the cheek, or am I just going to hug? Am I going to, you know? And then it's like, okay, she's not going to want to get drunk. He's going to want to get her really drunk. How should I play this? And I'm like, you should try this cocktail.
Try this. This is...
Yes.
All right. All right. Tell me when. All right. So service bar. How do you deal with service bar? Because you have the servers who love to come. I think we talked about this earlier. Who love to come. Oh, I'm waiting for such and such. How long this table? Well, you and so many other.
So they're like, the one thing I love about certain bars and restaurants, and there's a lot in New York where the bartenders, there's like 2 bartenders, one on this side and then one on this side, and then there's a service bartender who just takes all the restaurant drinks. I love being that bartender. Yeah. Because you see the tickets, you make the drinks, and you see the tickets, you make the drinks. Minimal.
This is here, it's in order.
Minimal, you don't talk, like, you don't really talk to anyone because you're constantly, and I love that. But dealing with the servers in the service bar, you know, because if they have like just 2 tables, they ring it in and then they come to you and they're just sitting there. It's like, go away. Go away, because for me, if someone's standing there, I'm going to take my sweet ass time.
See, and then they're going to get the only one who did that.
And then they're going to get frustrated, because I've served before and there have been times where I'm like, I only have 1 table. What am I going to do? I was like, you know what? I'm going to go, you know, polish silver, or I'm going to go do this. And it's like, what is taking so long? But then you look at the bar and it just got slammed. And it's like, there are times where as a server, when I'm not bartending, I'm like, do you want me to come and make it myself? And some bartenders...
I'm that server, though, sometimes when it's Sam. Like, I can help.
I know. It's like, I just need a kettle and soda. Can I get it? You know, and as a bartender, when I'm not, like, serving or whatever, I'm like, yeah, if it's right there, just get it. Just don't be in my way. But, yeah, the server, like, a lot of... and there's times where, you know, like, the dive bars in New York, they have the service bar, but it's not, like... You can't tell it's a service bar, so it looks just like a bar. And so people come and they're just like, have a gin and tonic. It's like, this is for the restaurant or this side. They're like, well, I see it right there. Can't you just make it? I was like, yes, but then I have to ring it up and everything. Can you just talk to, you know, this bartender? She'll take care of you. Or if you really just want a drink, the server will. And a lot of people don't understand the service bar. It's like, do you see a line of people trying to order drinks? No, you see a bunch of servers coming back.
This is not a shortcut line.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there are times where it's like, you know, someone's standing there and there's nothing going on. I'm like, hey, I'll take your drink. Yeah. But if you see the bar here and then there's like a little bar with the bar mats and no one's around it, don't go there.
At my bar, we have people, so... When you enter the bar, like the service bar is literally on the side. We have people who just stand there and just block it. And then they come behind the bar because they get so comfortable. It's like, how are you back here right now? This is a place for us to enter and exit and get our drinks out. I need you to move. Yeah,
and try not to be rude,
but just like, get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah, and putting like, I don't get people not reading the signs. Like, it says
that
service bar,
my mind.
You know, or it's like restroom with flashing lights. They're like, hey, do you know where the restroom is?
Where's the restroom? Outside. Outside.
My biggest advice to bar patrons and servers is just like, assess the room.
Pay attention.
Just don't walk in and be like, hey, do you know where it is?
See, but then you have the people who are just like, I'm not here to pay attention. I'm here to have a good time and to be serviced.
True, but like, do you go into a department store and not read like juniors or women's? You just walk around and be like, hey, do you know where that? No, like you have to. No, you have. It's like. That will maximize your bar experience. It's just like assess the situation.
Pay attention to your surroundings, people.
Yeah. And honestly, instead of like, why is she taking forever? It's like, you can see what she's doing. Yes. Right? You know, it's like, have a little patience and don't do this when you see her coming towards you. You know, it's just.
But then also, I think the main point for that for me, servers, stop standing at the service bar.
That is.
Waiting. because I've straight up told people I'm literally not going to move any faster.
True. And then, I mean, I tell servers too, it's just like, hey, you know, if I ask you to go get bread and you're waiting for the pastry chef to give it to you, and I'm standing there looking at you, but it's out of your control, don't you get, you know, aggravated too?
And then also you have to remember there's other servers. So there's other tickets that are coming in.
But
so
see that,
sometimes...
So when servers are like that, it's the lazy ones. There's been times where it's just like, oh my gosh, I could have served all these tables at the amount of time that you were...
Somebody else needs something.
Yeah, exactly.
You can go check on your other tables. I'm so sorry. All right, so then we're going to do difference between bartenders and servers. And Al, I've had the opportunity to do both.
Yes.
You've had the opportunity to do both.
Yes. And I started off as a server, and which was, you know, for my mind... As an Asian woman, no, I'm just kidding. No, just the way my mind, my mind is very detailed, so I can, you know, have 5 tables and have them not want for anything because my mind's photographic.
Yeah.
Like I have a photographic memory, so I know. And that was like way. I mean, it's still good now. It's still good now, but you know, as a server and not ever bartending, I didn't understand. I mean, I understood that, yes, there's the bar and then, you know, there's the service bar, but I didn't really, I only put in 2 drinks. Why is it taking forever, you know? And then I stopped to think, it's like, oh, there's 6 servers on there. They probably put in their, I didn't see them put in their tickets, but I know. And so that was just again, back to assessing the situation. That is the biggest thing, is just paying attention to whatever, you know.
See, but then how do you determine, though? Because even me as a server, sometimes a bartender is just slow. Sometimes the bartender just isn't paying attention.
Yeah, and some bartenders just
shouldn't.
Just don't know. It's patience. As much as it's so aggravating, that's... patience, you can apply that to any and everything, and everything changes, you know, because it is out of your control.
Yeah.
You rang in the ticket, and the bartender has whatever that they're doing, and if they don't see the ticket, I mean, to me, I'm always just nice to the bartender because I've been in that position, and it's just oh, thank you for being patient, and, you know, and servers, a lot of servers, the thing about being in a restaurant is everybody should work every single station.
Oh my
Even
God,
in the back.
Yeah.
I've expedited and I see the kitchen and I know how it goes. So as a server, I think all servers should bartend at least once a week or whatnot, have that rotating. And the same thing with bartenders being servers, because it is a whole different animal.
But there's a lot of bartenders, and I know a few that just don't even want to serve. No, I'm not serving.
Yeah, no.
And I don't know if it's because it's beneath them.
No, I think it's more so because at the bar you only have a certain allotted space and you just go back and forth.
Is that laziness though?
No, the bar is faster as well.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a lot more walking around with servers, and you had to deal with a lot more people and have
Honestly,
a lot more time as a server. Because everybody at your bar is drinking and having a good time, and you can pretty much
gauge.
You know, gauge and manipulate how it's going. And as a server, it's oh, you got sat 4 people that are just having a miserable time, and there's nothing you can do to, you know, make it any better. It's because it's at the bar, you can be oh, you want to try this new, you know, liquor that we got? Here, try it. You have more leeway at the bar.
Yeah.
You can make a lot of people happier at the bar as opposed to the server, because the server, it's more focused on food and the experience. And if you have a full section, it's kind of hard to give those patrons, you know, the restaurant people or restaurant customers that time. But at the bar, you can give, you know, certain people time. It might be 2 minutes, but you can still, you know, make them comfortable and make them happy with all the liquor that's behind you, you know? So, yeah, but I honestly think that servers need to bartend and bartenders need to
I think everybody needs to do everything.
So true. I always tell people, you should work in a restaurant.
For sure.
Even like restaurant owners, it's like, oh, I'm a lawyer. I want to own a bar. It's like, have you worked in a bar? Like,
you just like, why? Why do you want to own one? Why do you want, just because you love food? Just because you're a foodie doesn't mean that you need to own
the long hours,
a restaurant.
Long hours, all like you have to deal with so many headaches.
Because it's more than 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Because you have to set up, you have to prepare.
Oh, and that's another thing. Like, people don't realize. It's like, why don't you have this? Why are you out of that? It's like, well, we don't have a set amount of people that come into the bar. It could be a Friday and it could be slow because there's so many other
But then
events.
next Friday is like busy as hell and you just wasn't
even. Yeah, so you don't really prep, and so people are just like, why don't they? It's just like,
you're out of this? I know, you came all the way here for this.
I do feel people. I do feel a lot of customers that go into bars and restaurants and they're so set on having certain things and it's not there because it happens. It's been happening to me. Oh my gosh, it's been happening to me this whole past week. I'm just like, oh, okay, we're gonna go here. Okay, cool. I just want this, and they're just like, oh, we're out of that. I'm like,
Okay,
and then you know, as the bartender or as the server, bartender or server me, I would just be like, suggest something else. But then as patron, like customer me, I'm just like, I try not to show my aggravation.
How are you as a patron? How are you?
I am really good, but the people that I go with, I have to just be like, just wait, don't. No, like I usually order for the table and I usually just like command it, and just because like I assess the situation and I see that, you know, she just got sat a 4-top or he just got this or whatever. So I'm just like, hey, let's just start with appetizers, and does everybody know what they want? Like, I will order for the whole table, you know? And there's been times where I've just been, like, out to dinner with, like, one other person, and they're just like, what, this and that, and this and that. I don't know what I want. I was just like, well, you better make up your mind because they're coming now.
They're coming.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to go first, and then you're going to do that. And if you're not ready, just we'll put in one order to start us and whatever.
Because we're not going to keep the server waiting for you to figure out. Just the server's waiting right here, and you're just like, wait, but what did you order?
Yeah, exactly.
But what did you get? And it's just like, do you know that she has a lot of things to do right now? So, what's the yes one? Raising hands. Raising hands.
We are not in school. We are adults. Eye contact. Eye contact. And if you're ready to pay, get out your cash or your credit card, and that is so much better than just be like, oh. I've gone out to dinner and lunch with people, and they're just like, or do the check thing. They like sign their name in the air, and it's like, what are you writing? Are you starting to write me a letter?
What do you want?
Yeah, it's just like, bartenders see you.
No.
They know.
Not even, okay, so I'll be talking to someone else. Server, bartender, whatever the case. I'm literally talking to another customer, and they'll be like, no, we're ready when you're ready. We're ready.
Does it look like I'm ready?
No. I'm literally having a whole different conversation. Can you not? And I'll just literally, I'll turn and be like, I'm coming. I'll be right there.
I mean, there have been times, like, I'm really good at just, like, giving them the, like, 1 second. But there's been times where I'm just like, I'm going to ignore the shit out of you because you clearly see I'm having a conversation with this other table. And whatever you've got going on in your life and no one's giving you attention, I'm not going to give you attention now.
I think that's what people, is that what it is, guys? Do you come to the restaurant because you know it's a service thing? You're just like, I'm going to get all the attention that I've been desiring all week from this one person.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's relentless. It's like they don't even care.
Exactly.
Like last week, it was busy. And we had party after party after party. And I was trying to... Tis the season. Busiest season of the year right now. Like, I'm trying to, gauge and talk to everybody and take everybody's order. But every single table just kept interrupting. And, literally giving me their order. I'm writing it down. And the other table's right behind me because they're so close. And just like, I'm ready. Ma'am, can we order just one more? 1 second. 1 second, because if you tap me one more fucking time, please stop tapping me.
Yeah, like, I've seen, like, whenever I go to a restaurant, one, I hate it when my friends are like, oh, this is the best restaurant. You're going to love it. I was like, as someone who is a chef and has worked in so many great restaurants, like, I don't go into a restaurant with any type of expectation because everybody's palate is so different. So what you say, oh, you should try this whiskey, and I drink vodka, like, I'm, you know, and it's just like, but, like, going to a restaurant and then seeing the whole restaurant or like the bar and the way that people are acting, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I need to teach a class of proper bar etiquette. And, you know, server etiquette, because a lot of people don't understand that there are so many other tables. I feel like you're not the only one in this.
Every episode that I've done so far, the suggestion to everybody has been, please go get a job. You know how they make you volunteer in high school? Mm-hmm. Go to a bar or a restaurant and get a part-time job. Even if you're a hostess.
Exactly, because even as a hostess, they get, like, a lot of shit. Oh, well, you don't have room for 2 people? Why not? It's like, because do you want to stand and eat your food, or do you want to just enjoy it?
We don't have seating.
You know, it's like, I can't.
Poor hostess. Yeah. They honestly
they do.
The worst
but
of
I actually like being a hostess a lot more.
I was
because
gonna
you
say,
have.
So have you? I was gonna say, have you done everything? Because you're a chef.
Yeah, pretty much. I've worked, like, I haven't actually, like, I mean, I've prepped in kitchens, but I haven't actually been on the line. Mm-hmm. I was married to a chef, and then I dated a chef, and I worked in so many restaurants, and then, you know, I just applied all the knowledge from working in restaurants and my marriage and dating and everything to cooking, and just became that. Just became, like, it is so happy in the kitchen.
Honestly, I feel like they have the best time, other than when they have to deal with us and fucking up.
No, like, in a restaurant kitchen, no, they don't have the best time. When they're prepping and listening to music and cutting up, but, like,
that's when it looks like they're having the best time.
Yeah, but when you have, like, 30 tickets and they just keep coming and you don't have a chance to scratch your hands or anything, it's like, oh my gosh. But yes, I definitely agree with everybody working one day. They're not even working, just watching. How it all comes together.
Down. But then it's just sad because it's like, I don't even know how much
people can take.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, you wouldn't even be able to.
You need to have a certain type of, like, patience and stomach and
see, to bartend. I have no patience. But I feel.
How are you a server and a bartender?
I was going to say, but I feel like it challenges me every single day. The engineer is laughing. Spencer, don't laugh at me. I have no patience at all. But I feel like that's the moment. That's the only time I do have.
Really?
When I'm dealing with the table, because I'm just like. And that's literally the whole purpose of Where's My Manners, because I'm just like, I only have patience within this industry. Yeah. Right? So when I'm a customer, I'm like cranky, and I'm just like, it's so horrible. It's so bad.
You have to do better.
I do. And I know it. And I'm just like,
do better. Isn't that the new hashtag? Do better or be better or whatever? You need to follow that.
Because I have no patience. But I'm just like, is it because I have to be so nice?
You just had to have patience no matter what. Like, it is. There are times where I'm so, like, impatient, but I'm just like,
because customers really be pissing me off, and I just be like, and I was like, okay,
yeah, right, you have oh my gosh, my favorite bar patron is the one that's like goes through every single beer on tap that you have. And they're just, and I'm like, well, what kind of beer do you like? Oh, I like sours. I'm like, we don't have sours. If you would have told me that in the very beginning, I could have directed you. We could have directed you into something similar or gone straight to whiskey, you know? And it's just like, assess. That's my number one thing about being a bartender and a bar patron and restaurant customer and server. It's just like, assess the situation.
Yes.
Pay attention, because you will have a better experience at the bar in a restaurant.
Yeah.
Like, if you clearly see that your server has so much food and she's about to drop it off, or he's about to drop it off, or whatever, you know that once they drop off that food or drop off that drink, they're going to circle back around to you.
Like, if they're good at their job.
No, but even still, they still have to drop off your check and clear your tables and everything. Like, just go about your business. Stay on your phone. Like,
not for nothing. I've had coworkers.
oh man,
Just horrible. I was like, so you're not busy? Because I'm busy. How about you? Because I'm going to go check on your table, too.
See, and that's the one thing about the restaurant industry that is, like, it's just the hardest is to find, because you have to be a certain type of person to deal with drunken people, or, like, you need to know if they've had too much, if they're not looking at you, or, you know, how to kick them out or cut them off or whatever. And you just need to be a certain type.
I have a few coworkers who, no shade, but they overserve, and it makes me nervous every time. No. Even from the bar or even from
if they
serving.
Can't look at me in one of my eyes,
like, you gotta know.
Yeah,
you can't.
And
overserve.
I would, like, before I used to be like, oh, but we're gonna lose money and everything. I'm like, you know what?
And I think that's what they think.
But at the same time, if you overserve someone and they leave, your restaurant is gonna get fined so much, and you're gonna get fired, and you're gonna get fined too. So I would rather just be like, listen, you can't look at me in my eyes. You've had enough. You can hate me all you want, but you're going to love me in the morning when you're safe and sound.
Yes. Because you can drink as much as you want and say, I want another one. But in that moment.
But in your head, you can drink it. But, like, the next thing,
you're going to be like, why did I do that to myself?
Yeah, exactly.
And you're going to be so upset.
Exactly. And a lot of people don't, like, if someone's at the bar and they're just, like, throwing back shots. As a bartender, you know how many shots you've poured that person. Mm-hmm. And if they're, like, a big person, yeah, they might be able to handle all that. But, like, as soon as they get up and they're falling over, you're responsible for that.
Because that's the worst. I had a customer once. They came in drunk, and I was behind the bar. They came in drunk, and I knew that they were, like, off, but I wasn't, like, sure because the tab was transferred to me because the guy, he was leaving. But he didn't tell me that he had already had an incident with them before he even left. Yeah. So it's like, you got to communicate.
Definitely.
So the lady at this point, they're just, like, ordering shots for him and her, and then the couple that was next to them. When I tell you, my boss was so pissed because he literally had to carry this woman.
Oh, my God.
To the car because when she stood up, she was just like, she tumbled over. It was so embarrassing, and I felt so bad. I was like, how wasn't I able to, like...
It's our power. Like, we have that power to serve more or cut you off. Oh, my
God, I felt so bad.
Yes, and it, like, I've had people, like, why aren't you going to serve my friend? I'm like, because I don't want to lose my job over one shot that's going to put them over. Like, a lot of people, a lot of people don't understand. It's like, when you walked in here, I don't know how much you were drinking at wherever.
Exactly.
So you've had 3 drinks here, and you're getting kind of loopy.
But that's why it's important to have conversations with your guests. That's why
assess the situation.
That's why being behind the bar is like, I don't know. I really prefer being behind the bar because just like you can really have those. You have more
control too.
Yeah, and you can gauge, and you can just like really like pinpoint like where this person is with their night.
And as bartenders, we are the cheapest therapists. Mm-hmm. Well, except for like Uber and Lyft drivers and stuff, but you know, because like, but for
because I can go on for days in the Lyft.
Yeah, but like at the bar, you know, like you know, when people are drinking, they tend to be more, you know, comfortable sharing what they're going through and whatnot. And as a person, you might never see them again.
Can I say? Bacon is the reason why this has started, because I was literally having a drink before work.
Oh, yeah. Not before work. She was on her way to lunch. Trying to get fired on your day off? What the heck?
All right. So I was in for lunch and I was just telling her about my idea, and she was like, do it. And then she told me about Anchor, and it was like, what? And she was like, yeah, do it. You just start the fucking podcast. And I was like, I'm going to do it. And I just got
all so about getting, like, just support.
It was here, and I was just, like, throwing off my ideas. And she was like, she's listening to me. And I just felt so important. And I just felt it.
You are important. Everybody on this earth is important. And do you know that we are all connected? Like, our feet are on the ground. We are all connected to everybody on this earth. like the polar bears, the, you know, like the elephants, everything. If you're touching the earth, we're all connected.
We're here.
Yeah, so you have to treat your bartenders and servers and everybody that you encounter
as the same. Same.
As you would want to be treated. The golden rule.
Seriously. Because I don't even want to get into that. Because, but seriously, don't be trashy to people. Especially your bartenders and your servers. Because I feel like they get shitted on from the people who are, like, coming cocky. Well, and
that's one of the, like, biggest things about this service industry is that a lot of these bartenders and servers, alcohol is there, so they become alcoholics, and you know, and then they have to stay up for those long hours, so it's like the drugs and whatever they can keep themselves going, and it's like they're people too, like whatever you're going through, they're going through it 10 times as worse, because like you're not the only person that they're dealing with. Like, once you leave the bar, they might have 3 other tables in that same spot. Like, there's so much energy that they have to deal with. I was just going to say,
because the energies, they translate, and they, like, dealing with multiple types of personalities within one night, and you still have to be nice about it, unless you get that really bad customer who are just like assholes to you, and you're just obviously like, you can be an asshole back. You have to be nice the entire time, regardless if their energy is positive or negative. You have to be nice. You have to be like smiley. You can't give them attitude. You can't give them a reason to not pay your bills at the end of the day.
Exactly. Because I mean, and the one thing I hate is the bar patrons and the restaurant.
That brings pet peeves. We have to do pet peeves.
Okay, so here, I'll be back. I know where you are. But the one thing I hate is just, like, people coming into the bar and just unleashing everything on you. Yeah. And you have to take that in. And you have to be, you know, you don't want to give them, like, advice, because there are some people that are like, I'm going to go to the bar and see what they say and then go do it. And it's like, But you have to be, like, the unbiased advice giver, you know? And as a bartender, it's just crazy. Like,
it's hard.
We take on so many roles, not just as the bartender, as a service bar, or as the cashier or anything like that. We can be your friend, because when you have regulars, like oh my gosh, one of my regulars, I gotta tell you the story. So I was in New Orleans and I only worked 3 days. Like, as a bartender, as like in the restaurant industry, my rule of thumb is only work 3 days out of the week, because it is draining, and you don't want to be part of that, you know, drama and everything. And so 3 days a week gives you that camaraderie and whatever, and you work there, but then it also gives that intrigue, like, where were you? What did you do? And stuff. So anyway, this bar that I worked at, I love this bar. It's closed now. They moved it into the airport. It's in New Orleans. But these men, like, owned a plumbing company or like a construction company or whatever, and I love the Mets. And I was there, and I was going through, like, a rough time. It was, like, Halloween or whatever. So much going on. And I was trying to be a responsible adult. I was, like, saving my money. And, you know, I was like, you know. So one of the patrons was just like, what's wrong? I was just like, oh, my friend has tickets to the World Series, the Mets, Kansas City. You know, I want to go, but I'm being a responsible adult. And I've only bartended there for, like, 1.5 years, 2 years. But I was literally the only one that all the bartenders were like, oh, they're here, you deal with them. Because I assess this situation, and I can do. So one of the patrons was just like, oh, so what's wrong? I was just like, you know, I'm saving up money, and I want to be responsible. Ticket there's like $200, and a round trip is $200, and I don't really want to spend that. They're like, you love the Mets, and you know, like, you have tickets there, and that's the only reason why you can't go. And he, like, puts up $100 bill. And he's like, okay, now you only have $100 to, you know, like, work for. I was just like, okay, whatever. And I didn't take it. It was sitting there for, like, you know, like 30 minutes. And then his partner comes in, or one of the person that he works. He's like, what's this $100 bill doing there? And they're just like, Bacon wants to go to the World Series to see her Mets, and she wants to be responsible and not spend that money. And he's like, oh, here.
Stop
and
it.
they put down and that's one of the things I love about bartending is because you have those regulars that will take care of you. Who just really
love you.
Yeah, and so I went to go see the Mets lose to Kansas City on my
lose or not, you win.
But on my regulars time, and it was just like amazing because you do get rewards. Like if you're so, you just you just gotta be nice.
There are you gotta be nice, and there are a
lot of benefits.
Amazing customers who I love. Like the other day, I was at work, and one of my customers, he tapped me on my shoulder, and I turned around, and he was like, "You don't remember me, do you?" I was like, "Oh my God, I do remember you," because he was one of my regulars at the spot in Harlem, and him and his girlfriend would come all the time, and they would just give me a hug and embrace me, and literally just started coming for me.
And you feel so good.
I felt so good. It was like, oh my God. So he was like, we got to get a picture. We got to send it to her. Da-da-da. And I was like, this just literally made my night, because I was already having a shitty night. Yeah. So it's like,
so it's like, and that's the thing. It's like, as a bar patron, you also give bartenders life, because you might be having a shitty night and one of your regulars comes in, or even somebody that's just like, hey, whatever, it's like, oh my gosh, thank you, and they and even if they don't tip you well, it's like that interaction and that just release of whatever it is going on, you have that one, because
I've had customers that come in, and because we've already bonded, we've already have a relationship, they wouldn't even tip me, but they will make sure that they took care of me the next time. And I wouldn't even you're fine. Mm-hmm. This drink is on me.
You have to come to New Orleans, because the bartenders there are amazing.
I'm planning right now in my mind.
There's been times where, I've done this a few times, but I will order rounds of shots for people, and it's like, I know the bartender, and they're like, here's your tab, and it's like $20. $20.
That's the best thing about being in the industry, though.
And I'm just like, wait a minute. Okay, I'm going to give you $60, and then I'm going to tell everybody to tip you.
Everybody.
Hey, because we have the power.
Yes.
We have the power to make you happy.
This is one of the best industries in the world.
It is, and it's a dying industry. They're trying to take away the whole tipping thing. And, I mean, in London and all over the place, it's you get, here, no, not here, but it's
I know they're starting to pool everywhere.
Oh, I don't like
that.
Which I hate. I hate that because it's like the lazy person can go in there and they're still going to get that.
And that's why there's so many lazy people in this industry right now. And I've been pooling the last few places that I've been, and I'm just like...
I like the whole, tipping system in America, because it makes you work harder. It's like, if you didn't work that hard, your tips are going to show it.
Yeah.
And, but I mean,
we already make too much money in this industry.
Yeah. But I mean, at the same time, you can give a table or a person the best service and they still give you 15%. But that's
the risk you just got to take.
Well, patrons don't know. And a lot of, foreigners that come here, they don't know that you're supposed to tip on that, because in Europe, everything is included. They get $15, $20 an hour or whatever, and I'm in limbo about the whole taking away the tipping thing or
I'm not
keeping
here for
it
at all.
Yeah, because sometimes I will spend a lot more at a table because I know they're gonna take care of me. Yeah. I'm
a good tipper. I love I know that's how you're making your money, and I know that you have, because I go through a lot in my day, in my serving day.
I mean, even if someone sucks, I'm gonna just give them 20%.
Period.
If they're great, I'll give them 35%.
My thinking always, even if they're giving me bad energy, and I'm just like, all right, I'm not feeling your service, I always think I don't know what they're going through.
Have you ever had a bar patron or a table, it's you're not giving your best and they tip you 50%? It's wait, your tab was only 50 and you're giving me $150? I'm like,
what?
I love you. I was like, come back anytime.
I love you guys. See you later. But at first you're just I'm just not feeling it today, because sometimes you have your bad days. Yeah. All right, so now we're out of time, guys.
Oh, but thank you for having me. I had so much fun. I think it was the wine, though.
No, it was definitely the wine, but that's the whole point. And I would love to have you back.
Oh, anytime after January 10th.
You guys don't know how long it was getting. It was
Yeah,
hard getting her
I was supposed to be
here.
here before.
It's fine though.
Before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then I decided to go to New Orleans.
It's like I'm on vacation. I was like,
nah, I just had to go see my NOLA peeps.
It's fine.
Who dat? I mean, I am a Giants fan, but I like.
Did you?
I love Spencer is like, yeah.
It's like, yes, that was my favorite part.
Yes.
All right,
Okay.
so thank you so much, Bacon.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you.
Yes.
And
of course.
until next time, guys.
Yes.